Hello everybody, hope you're all well. Today we're going to do our octopus for our Wonderful Waterworld collection. So I've got quite a lot of colours, but you decide what colour you want to use. But I'm using lots of oranges, reds and pinks, so I'll give you a list of all the pencils that I'm using in the description, and as I'm going through I will tell you which colours I'm using. So for this you just need a normal pencil and an eraser. I use my little electric one. A sheet of paper, I'm using A5 extra smooth. This is an A5 picture. I'm going to do it a little bit smaller for the workshop so that we can get more colouring done, because this took quite a few hours to do. But we'll see how we go. The main thing I want to show you is how to get your little curls. Obviously show you how to draw the shape, but once you've got all your legs in, you can decide on whether you want to give it more spirals going around, or if you want the legs to be straight or coming off the page. But if we just do it a little bit smaller for this class, then you can have a play around and see how you prefer to do it, and it may be something that you want to add into the final piece when you do your mermaid, if you just do it a little bit smaller. Or you could have a play around, perhaps you could put the octopus on the mermaid's head and have the tentacles coming down as her hair. There's quite a few things that you can do. But we'll get started. Starting off with our normal pencil and our A5 sheet of paper. And we'll just start off creating the eyes. So I always start with the eyes, as you know, because then you know where you're going. So if we just do it a little bit smaller, so we're going to start off just a couple of oblong circles. So if we just do it like that, bring it down a little bit. Right, so just a little oblong circle here, and then just work out whether you want it to have a big fat face or a thin face. It's up to you, but I'm just going to roughly imagine another sort of circle in the middle and then create my other one. And you can rub those out if you're not happy, and try to make them a similar size or not, it's up to you. And then from the eye, from the outside, we're going to start, just put a little line here, and then we're going to imagine that this is where the head's going to go. So you can decide on whether you want him to have a really big fat head like an alien, or just a basic octopus head. So let's just do, so we're coming up and coming around the corner, and then coming all the way around to maybe about here, so that we're just above the eye, because they have fatter heads at the top. And so then if you then come round the corner and come in, so that you're coming in quite close to the eye again. But you can rub that out if you want to make it fatter, make that bit come out a bit fatter if you like, or just go with what you've got. And that's what's got the top of his head. And then if we come down from this eye and just come in slightly to create a little bit of a cheek, we then know that this here is all the areas where we can have a play creating his tentacles. So I'm going to start off creating the first one by coming off this line that we've just created. So we're going to come down and come around the corner a little bit, and we're going to make it go up and round like a loop, like so, and then maybe just do that. And once we've got that sort of shape, we know we need to double it up and make it fatter to make it that it's an actual tentacle. So again, once you've done a few, you can decide on whether you want these to be really fat or really thin. But I'm going to do this one quite thin because I'm making them a little bit smaller than the one that I did. So all we're doing now is mirroring this line that we've already created. So just coming up and around And again, you can play around with these and change them once you've got the rest of the artwork drawn, but it's just nice to have a little play and see what occurs. So we're coming through and down, just mirror it, and then at the end you can decide on whether you want to have them as a little point, or you can have them that they start to spiral into little circles. So if you just go around like so for now. Now we've gone over this bit here, so there's two little lines in there. So to get the illusion of it coming over the top, you just need to get your eraser and just rub out those two little lines that are going through there, and then that automatically makes it look like the loop is coming over the top. Hopefully you can see that. Now, and if we start off at this side now and create the other one, then we know that all this area in the center is where we need to get another 6 tentacles. So I'm going to bring this one up and bring it down and round, but have it curling up around the side of his head, and then I'm going to spiral it off, just little loops like so. And then again you come back in and start to mirror that line. Just follow it around. Now you can refine it and tidy it up when you've got your initial drawing in. Now you can then just come in and make that be a single line that's spiraling off. And then we're going to get another one. So quite close to where we've done this little line, I'm just going to make another little line come down. And then I might just try to create the rest of them, the tops of the rest of them here, so I know. So I've got 1, 2, and then if I do another one here, and then we do another one maybe about here, and then another one maybe here. How many is that? We've got 1, so we'll get another one in here. So like, we'll start and just finish this one off. We'll bring this one down, and we'll bring him down and loop around, and then maybe have his one come off the page, or just further down the page, it's up to you. And again just mirror that, and come round and do the loop, and then like what we did before, we're going to rub that out, and I'm going to make that a bit rounder. And then rub out those lines there. And then that makes it look like this line's going behind. I hope that's making sense. And so then this will always make it look like whatever's coming around is coming in front. And you can go the opposite way and have it look like it's going behind as well, but you just do the opposite lines to what we've just done. So that gives us another little loop. So this one here is going to be another little tentacle coming down here. And we just have to decide on which direction we want it to go, whether we want it to come straight down. You can have it come down and behind this loop that you've already done, just by doing a line to here and then an imaginary line through there, and then another imaginary line through there, and then decide whether you want it to be curly or just like a point at the bottom. So we'll just mirror that one again. And then we'll do this one. So we'll have him coming maybe from here. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, and this one's 5. So we've got another 3 to get in here. So from this one here, I'm going to come down and bring it out here, make it come out quite far so that we've got some more space. Wait, the sun's just come out. So the sun just came out, so I've had to come out and shut the blind, and hopefully that light's okay, that you can see. So we had started off coming down around here, and then just maybe just end it there for now until we decide what we want to do with it. Now we just need to double it up, do a mirror. We can decide on whether we want it to be curly or just go off the page in a minute. We'll see where we want this one to go. So I think we'll come down, make it a little bit curly, but let it go in this direction. So we're going this way. And maybe put in another loop, have it spinning around, maybe there. And then get your rubber and then rub out this little bit here, those lines underneath. And if it's not overly tidy, you can just tidy it up. And try to have it that it's the same fatness all the way around. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We've got 2 more to get into this little space. So create a line here, and I'm going to have this one come in underneath these ones that we've just done. So we'll come down an imaginary line through there, an imaginary line through here, see what that looks like. You can have a real play around with these to see which way you like them to curl and go. And then we'll get our last one in here. So we create one here. And again mirror that. And then decide on whether you want that to go through that loop, in which case you do another little imaginary line. And maybe have it spiral off. So down and then have it spiral. So you might want to do these little spirals, on the ends of all of them, if that's the style that you want to do, or you might just want to have them all just with a little point at the end. But there you've got your sort of basic outline drawn, and all we have to do now is colour. So let's start with the face. So I'm going to do blue eyes. So I'm going to get just a selection of blues. So I have got a light cobalt turquoise and a phthalo blue and a light phthalo blue, and I've also got a bluish turquoise. So starting off with the lightest colour, the light Cobalt Turquoise, I'm just going to start to add some colour in all of that circle on both eyes, and even a little bit that might have a bit of white where you can put your black over the top. And then with our black, create our pupil. So just, you can start it off as a little C shape if you prefer, or you can go in straight off and just do a full sort of circle or oval. But when you do this, it kind of lets you see an area where you can have a bit of white to put in a little sparkle. Now you can do your sparkles the way we do the girls if you prefer to just draw a sparkle and then do it like that, but this is just showing you how. If we just put a little bit of black in there, then we've got a little bit of white that just starts to appear. And then if we go up our colours and start getting darker, so I'm going for the light Phthalo blue, and then just going around from the black around the centre. So leaving a little bit that's still got the lighter colour underneath, some little areas that are whiter. And then if we go up and make it darker with the Phthalo blue, up at the top, making it a bit darker. So this is a bit different to what I do with the girls. But it just shows you different ways that you can do it. So just keep it nice and light circular motions, and then you can really build up your colour. Now I'm noticing one eye is a bit bigger than the other, but sometimes that's quite nice. I'll just extend it a little bit with darker blue. Right, I'm gonna, with my normal pencil, just come back in and draw a little bit of a line going around that eye now. So just mirroring what line here is for the eye, just around it. And all the way down, and the same with the other eye. And once you've got them lines in, we can go and, so depending on what colours you want to do your octopus, so mine is kind of pinks and yellows and oranges, so I'm using like the beige red and the cream, and then I'll also be using this one, which is sanguine, I think. Oh, it's terracotta, but the sanguine's quite similar. So these three I'm going to use around the face for now. So where we've created those little lines, I'm going to start going around very lightly with the beige red, and coming up around the side of the head, so a bit like when we're doing our girls. And when you do this, then you start to see the shape of the head starting to take place, so you can see where you can then continue to put shadows in as you progress. So just by going all the way around the outside, you start to create this little white shine in here, and it's hard to see initially, but once we've got that base down, we can then build that up with darker colours, with pinks and oranges. But when you've got a nice light colour down underneath, it kind of gives you your base, and then you can build your colours on top of that, and it all goes on a lot smoother. So if we come in just a slight bit here, Just then, again, we're creating this white area in here, but now you can start to see the shape of the head starting to appear. And then we'll do the same underneath this eye, this line. And then just start to come down and do the same coming down into some of these tentacles. So we've got a little white area here, and then we've got a bit of colour here. Right, now we're going to build it up, and if you want to use like a coral or whatever shade of pink you want to use, and then start to emphasise where we've gone in with the lighter shade to start to build up. So again, we're coming right round the outside of the head. It sounds like one of my neighbours has got music on, so I hope you can't hear it too much. So keeping it nice and light, not getting heavy-handed at all yet. And making sure that you come right out to the outside of that line. And then starting to come around that pencil line that we did. And the same on the other pencil line around here. We're just keeping it nice and light and going around it. And then same underneath. Now if you wanted to give your octopus nice little blushy cheeks, you could do that if you wanted. I'm sorry, I keep getting messages, and they're just messages from Boots to go and collect a prescription. So I'll just try and... So just keeping it at its darkest on the outside line, and then just gradually dragging a little bit of the colour in, keeping it nice and soft. And then just really dark around the outside. Then you start to, it's like when we did the orb, you start to create that illusion of something being round by doing that. So you've done that. Now if you want to get an orange now, so I've got Cadmium orange, and if you want to go around the outside and keeping it light still, just finding an area here where you're just putting the orange over the top, then that again helps make it look round. And then maybe another little bit just over here, just a little corner bit. And we can keep building that up. And then if you get your terracotta or your sanguine, whatever, and then you can go around this line that you did and just mirror that, just, and same here, this side. And then just circular motions, just try and drag a little bit of that colour out from that line. At both sides. Start to see it building up. And you can make that darker if you go in with maybe a dark brown, like a walnut brown, or a raw umber, burnt umber, sorry. You can darken this bit here again and make it look deeper. So just those little bits there. Right, so we can build that up a little bit more as we go along. Maybe put a little bit of cream in there as well before we move for on. So where the bits are a little bit whiter, and not all of the white, but maybe just go around and put in a little bit of cream just to brighten it up a bit. Maybe a little bit over here as well. And of course the bits that are white you can go over with the white, but it's quite good at the very end to get all your colours down and then go over all of it with the white, and then that really burnishes it and makes it all nice and smooth, blends it all together. So I'm just going to make his pupils a little bit bigger. So I'm just going in with my black and just going round, making them a little bit fatter. So you can make them really big in there if you like, and you'll start to see how you can change his personality and make him look differently just by changing the pupils in his eyes. Right, we'll do a couple of these to show you how to colour in the tentacles, and then you'll be able to go ahead and colour all of it on your own. So I'm going to start off with some orange. I'm going to have my all varying between oranges and pinks. So I'm starting off with a chrome yellow, which is quite a light orange, and then starting to go around just mostly the outside. So the idea is to have a little white line in the centre or just down near the bottom. Just decide whether you want it in the centre or at the bottom, and then that helps to give the illusion of it being round. And if we do that all the way along, so still keeping a little white area in there. And if you decide on where it is, so if you're doing it here on this outside line, you keep it on the outside line all the way around, and then it still looks like it's got a little bit of a shine coming over and round that circular bit. So we'll just do this little circular bit for now. So we've got our chrome yellow in, and then if you build that up and go into your darker orange, so mine says Cadmium orange, and then just do the same again, but just keeping it at its darkest right on that line. And you can see some of that lighter orange underneath. If you make sure there's no white against this line and where your colour starts, that's when you'll start to make it look like it's round. And then if you have your normal pencil and you want to, on this bit where we're coming around, we'll start to create some little tentacles. Not tentacles, I don't know what you call them, little bits. So if we do a little circle here, and then another little circle here, and if we just keep going around, you can bring these all the way down as far as you like, or you can just do them within the circle. But if you double them up a little bit here, it makes it look like it's a bit deeper and it's going back to get that illusion. And then we make them black. So if you then have your black pencil, and you have it quite sharp. Mine's could do with being a bit sharper, and if you just go around those lines, and then if you just, in those little groove bits, in these bits here, if you just make them a little bit darker every now and again, if you press down hard, and you can go over these again with a fine liner later on to make them really dark. Now you can take them all the way down if you like, or you can just have them in certain areas, and then if you do in the centre, this bit here, make it really dark. So if you burnish it by pressing down hard, it makes it look a bit more realistic. And then with the orange, you can then go over the top of it with a pink, or you can keep it orange and then just keep building it up. So I've got here a cadmium, rose cadmium, and I'm going over the top of the orange with it and keeping it at its darkest, mostly on the outside line. And then just dragging some of that colour out so that there's just a faint white line going along the outside lines. You don't want it all completely white. And you see that nice shine coming through from the fact that you put down your chrome, I forget what colour you call it. Yeah, chrome yellow. You would think I would know the names of all these pencils by now. So just keep building that up. So that's one tentacle, but you would just continue to darken that up. So if you went back in and had your orange again, and then maybe here, just on this outside line, just darken that. And if you press down hard to burnish it, then you'll get that shine. It looks like there's a shine coming from him coming round the corner. And if you have it that it's going in the same direction as the lines, that you know, you want it all to be quite mirror that sort of shape, so that you get that feeling of it being like a shine. And then if you just find another area where it needs a bit of a shine as well, just maybe here. So, and it's just more of the same with all of the tentacles. So we'll do a pinky coloured one. We'll come down this one here and make it like a pinky sort of colour. So starting off with the beige red, get that first layer in. And again, finding a little bit just down the side that's going to be white. And again we've got a loop that we're coming around here. So just keeping an area white and going all the way around. So there we've got a base colour in. And then I'm going to use a light magenta over the top. So if you keep it nice and light. And again keeping it really close to the line at its darkest, and then dragging a little bit of colour out. You can see how it starts to build up just by doing lots of layers, hopefully. And once you've got your initial little circular motions done to get your first layers in, you can then start moving your pencil in different directions, because you've got that nice smooth area and you're just blending them in. So Rose Carmine, I would actually prefer to have had more of a pinky colour. I haven't laid it out. Let me just see if I can grab it. Yeah, so something like the Pink Madder Lake over the top, and again really, really dark now on that line. And then just dragging more of that colour out. So once you've got that line going down here, and then just softly drag some of that colour out into the colour you've already done, you start to see it build up. Now where your loop's coming over, you kind of want to create a little bit of a shadow. I haven't done it in that one yet, but if we get like a purple or a bluey purple, so like something like blue violet or Indanthrene blue. I mean, these you can use any kind of colours, but because it's a bit darker, if you just want to come in where this line is here, and then just create a little bit of a shadow coming out of there. So just let it get lighter and lighter. It starts off at its darkest right in here on that line where the curl is. And then it gets lighter and lighter as you drag it out. So as long as there's no white, you don't want any sort of white between that line and there. And then if you do the same a little bit just above here. Then that starts to create a little bit of a shadow. And then I'm going to get a darker pink. So the Rose Carmine. And then again going down that outside line with the darkest. And just dragging over the top of that. So just more of the same of what we've already been doing. It's just that we're building up our layers, which creates more depth. And it makes the colours more vibrant when you layer them up on top of each other. So if you just try to do it so that some areas are darker than others as well, you don't want it all to be like a solid block of one colour. And again, just create another one behind to make it look deeper. And then this purple that I've brought in here, I'm just going to bring it all the way around the outside here and just maybe drag some of that purple in. You can see how then you can start to really mix and blend in all your colours. So I'm just doing little lines to blend them into that pink. And then going back to my pink, I'm going back to Pink Madder Lake and then going over the top of that purple with the pink. And just trying to emphasise that little white line. Now when you start to do your background with the blue, say, you can start to build that up. So if I just do some of the outside as well. So if we go into here now and start bringing in some blue. So I'm using the Cobalt, light Cobalt Turquoise. And just getting that first sort of layer in. Keeping it nice and light. Put some inside here as well. And then you start to build up your blues, like what we've done on this area, we're doing the same on the outside. So we've got that first layer, so then going up to a darker blue, light Phthalo blue, and then getting it really dark, well not really dark but still darker in this little bit here. And then coming down the outside line, making it a little bit darker. Oh, you can hear my stomach rumbling. And then going up even darker again, so to Phthalo blue, and see how you can just really build it. So, and having it at its darkest on that outside line. So then that helps to emphasise the inside of the tentacle. You can start to see that white come out a little bit brighter now. So just dragging a little bit from that line out so that it's not like a harsh line just yet. Just softening it. And of course you would do that around all of, I mean I can't do all of these tentacles in this one workshop because it takes hours. But I'm hoping that by showing you what I've done so far you're getting an idea. So I'm going to bring in some yellow. Where's my cream? My cream on top of this pink now. So going over the top here with this yellow, then that adds a little bit more light into it, and it helps to make it look round as well. It looks like his tentacles coming around this corner and the light's just hitting off it. And because I've already used some orange to to make it, I'm going to put a little bit of orange up here, just on the top. You see how you can set all those colours on top of each other? And then here, by pressing down hard now, you get it, start to burnish it and make it look shiny. So I'm not burnishing all of it yet, I'm just finding areas where I want it to be really shiny. And so I might do it again down here, just on this line here. And once you're happy with the colours that you've got in there, you can go over the top of all of it with a white. Or a cream if you don't have a white. And push it down and burnish it, then you kind of seal in all that colour and you make it really, really smooth and just push all those colours together. And so it's just a little bit more of the same, so just decide on which colours you want to do, if you want to mix it up and have different colours for each tentacle, or if you want to stick to just oranges or pinks. But don't be scared to put orange on top of pink, or pink on top of orange, or cream on top of whatever. And I think the best rule is to start off with your lightest colour and then build it up and keep it on its darkest on the outside line, and then just keep adding lots of different layers on top to build it up to get it really vibrant. And then if you've decided where you want your white area, just make sure you have that white area in all of them. And then when you've got a loop or you've got a tentacle going over the top, then create a little bit of a shadow. So if I just put some more, this is magenta that I'm using at the minute. Now that line doesn't tally up there, so I need to just draw another little bit of a line in there. And then create a shadow. So because I'm using the purple for that, so just gonna, what am I using? Blue violet. Just using it there to create that little bit of a shadow, and then just darken up that line. Still using my magenta. Just having it really dark on the outside line. And then I'll go over that with a pink. My pink madder leg. And then just find some areas there where I want it darker, and then maybe burnish it. I think if you do the burnishing more when you're going around little corners, it looks more effective. So it still needs a lot more layers. I mean, if you want to go ahead and create a little heart on his head, I do those a lot. So I'm going to just draw a little heart here. Just drawing the heart, then drawing a couple of little circles inside the heart. And then you can use your black pencil or you can use a fine liner. I've got a fine liner, let's see if it works. And then just drawing around those circles again and then just colour it in. And you can use this fine liner as well to darken up the pupils in his eyes and little areas to make it shinier and darker. And again with your little tentacles. You really have it dark right in that central point, just along here. And then once you've got all your tentacles in, if you want to use your fine liner on the end, so once you've coloured them in, you could then go along and do your little swirls at the end with a fine liner. Just to finish it off and make them pop. So I'm going to bring this one in there, and you can see how it's starting. You can see that lots and lots of layers have been required. You can see how it's taken a long time to do that one, when you can see that it's already taken us maybe 45 minutes just to do this. And you can see that even though you think you've done a lot, you've still got a lot more colour to add in. So it's just a case of keep going back in and just darkening it up. And then in the bits where you want it white or light, go over it with your cream or your white. I'm going to just add a little bit more pink up in here, just to try and keep making his head rounder. So I think the rule is, if you think you're finished, then you're not. It takes ages, doesn't it? But I really do enjoy just sitting with my pencils and just building it up and layering it up. And they do look nice when you're finished. So to get this going around the outside as well, I'll show you. So you know, once you've coloured it all and you've done all this blue around the outside, I use I just need to find it. Okay, for going around the outside, you can use your FABER-CASTEL pencils, but I quite like using my Prisma colour, and this is called Beige, and it's the same sort of tone. It's a bit lighter. Let me see which one would be a FABER-CASTEL similar one. I'll have a look once we've done it, but it's quite a goldy kind of tone. It's not unlike this one, burnt ochre. She's a little bit lighter than a burnt ochre. But what I do is I just go around the outside. First of all, I line it up. I go right along the edge so that the edge of the paper doesn't have any white on it. So if you just go with the side of your pencil and do that, and get that first layer in, and then in the corners I circular motions, just colour in a little bit of the corner like so, and then come along, maybe do another one here, just make it come out a little bit further. And then once I'm happy with where they are, I press down really hard and burnish it, make it really, really, really shiny, really dark. And the same, if you do what I've just did, don't worry, because you can just colour it in as well. But just all the way down the side, and then if you've come in accidentally on the side, just blend it in, just go round and round. And the idea is just to have some bits that are thinner than others, other bits that come out, so little swirls that perhaps just come out every now and again, all the way around. And then every now and again I like to have a little line come down, so I'll just draw a little line. So maybe come along here a bit and do a little line as well, so maybe one here. And it's quite nice working in threes, so maybe have one longer than the other. And then just finding other little areas where you want it to have a little bit that's coming in. And then pressing down hard, and you can go over the top of them to make them even shinier or brighter with, say, like a Naples yellow. You can go over the top of it and press down hard, and then you've got that sort of tone that's coming in over the top of it. Makes it really golden. Or you can use your yellow to create your lines instead, so you've got them really light. But yeah, you just go all the way around the whole of the picture, just doing that. And the reason I like to do it with the Prismacolor is it's just really, really soft lead, and it can really sit down really thick on it. But you can still do it with your Faber-Castells as well. But yeah, and just keep pressing in really, really hard to burnish it, and you see it get darker and darker as you do that. And then once you've done that all the way around, if you go along with a darker pencil, like say a burnt sienna or a brown, and then just go back in just so that it's going down the edge. Don't know if you can see it with the black, but if you just keep it right in at the corner, then it just finishes off your artwork and just makes it look a bit more polished, a bit finished. Can you see that? So you've actually gone right the way along the edge of the paper. And then it looks like that. Can you see? Yeah? So hopefully that's given you an idea of how to do it. I look forward to seeing some of your artwork in the group. Please do post your pictures in the group, and please get in touch and let me know if you've got any questions. This will give me something to keep going at. Now I'm just going in darker again on my eyes, just keep building them up as well. So this is a Indanthrene blue that I've started to use now, going around here. You see how you can build them up. Yeah. Lots of work. Hopefully that's given you something that you can do. I'll look forward to seeing everything in the group, and hope you're all well, everybody. Thank you for joining me again. Take care. Bye bye.